Hey you guys, this is Psycho Power Ranger once again, and I'm here to bring you the second installment of my build series. Now this build is an interesting one because it's going to be playing off a lot on confusion as the Mesmer. Using a large number of clones and Cry Frustration in unison and taking that off cooldown as quickly as possible to force your enemy to hurt themselves deeply by attacking you, on top of increasing your toughness to a point where it will be less beneficial for themselves. Now all the traits for this class have not been released and there's some things that need to be ironed out before this build will be perfect. It's definitely going to need a test in-game to be sure that it is as good as I hope that it might be. I also have a couple other Mesmer builds in the making, so it's definitely worth checking those out as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this build. Alright, here we have it. Now let's give the rundown of the skills and why I think you need them. Mind Slash, nothing big here. It's just for the vulnerability maybe at the end. These are the two big skills here. We have Leap and we have Illusionary Weapon. This is the reason why you want to go Sword as your main hand. It's these double illusions that are really going to give you a cutting edge, and they'll have an even lower cooldown with traits. This right here is the reason that I run Torch. You disappear into a cloud of smoke, and then you will go invisible for 3 seconds and blind your enemies for 5. And then finally we have Illusionary Mage, which applies confusion to your enemies and gives you retaliation for your allies, which means you'll attack back. Now this is pretty big, especially if your clones are considered allies. We have Ether Feast because they're going to have a lot of clones up, and this will be the best way to provide health. Signet of Illusions will allow you to have your illusions have more health. This is big so they can do even more retaliations to your enemies, on top of the fact that if they're confused, they'll be taking even more damage from hurting themselves attacking. Keep in mind when you go invisible, this may throw off your enemies, and they may throw in an extra attack into one of your clones by accident. Its active, however, is also very important, which will recharge your shatter skills. This will allow you to finish off your opponents or apply mass confusion to your enemies. This confusion comes out of Cry Frustration, which will be your main shatter that you'll be using on this build, though Mind Rack may be used often as well. The other two aren't very necessary in this build, though you may find the need to use them. Next we have Portal. The big reason that we use Portal here is because it'll allow you to teleport back and forth and throw off your enemies into which one is exactly you. Though if Portal isn't your style, you can use other skills like Blink, Veil of Invisibility, or Mirror Images, which isn't exactly like the other two I named, but you can use it in a quick pinch that will give you extra vitality and power. And we'll go into that in a little bit later. Finally, I chose Mass Illusion as my elite. The reason being is the invisibility is the biggest reason. You can cloak all sorts of illusions in this, on top of the fact that you can lay one piece of your portal down here as well, which can throw off your enemy pretty easy. Now we have the traits. As you can see, they're a little scattered, and there's a big reason as to why they're like this. The only thing really important in Domination is Rendering Shatter. When you shred an illusion, it'll cause your enemy to also be vulnerable, lowering their armor. There's a big emphasis on dueling. You'll be critting a lot, therefore critical infusion, important. Getting another plus 50 precision since you're using a sword in your main hand. Whenever you dodge, you create a clone, very helpful. When your health goes below 25%, you will create yet another clone, which will be even more fodder to use your shatters, on top of defending yourself. And this is big. Your illusions cost 3 seconds of confusion when they are killed. Not only when you shatter them, they will also cause extra confusion with that shatter. This is very important. I put 10 in the chaos. Reason being for this right here. Plus 30 toughness for each illusion you have. That's up to 90 extra toughness when you have 3 illusions up. Whenever you dodge, that means you're getting an extra 30 toughness. Finally, we put a lot of emphasis into illusion. 10% faster cooldowns on your illusion skills. This includes Leap, Illusionary Mage, Decoy, and any other aforementioned skills that would in turn give you more illusions, like the double clone. Plus 30 power for each illusion you've created. This makes up for the power that you're losing in Domination. When you have 3 illusions out, you're going to be gaining that extra power, and you're going to have illusions up all the time due to all the extra bonuses that are going to be popping up illusions. Shredding your illusions will cause confusion, which will also stack with the killing. And this may be iffy. Killed might mean that your opponent has to kill them, but it doesn't seem to be that reason. When they're killed, including shredding. So I'm going to have to argue that means double confusion stacks whenever you shred, on top of your Cry Frustration. Speaking of Cry Frustration, your Cry Frustration will last twice as long, meaning even longer confusion. So like I'm saying, confusion is going to be huge in this. It's going to force your opponent to not attack or be penalized hard for that. And yet again, when you shred your illusions, you also gain might, further pushing your power up, making it so that you actually can do some more damage. This is very important, so this build plays together pretty well. All in all, this build can do some really crazy mind tricks to your enemies, from going invisible several times, on top of teleporting, on top of throwing teleportations, and the obvious confusion to your enemy, forcing them to choose between attacking or passively sitting off and trying to find a way to escape. It can really shut down an enemy and force them to be out of the game, which can be huge in a PvP environment. We all know that with meta, you'll have to push out certain enemies, and the Mesmer is a great way to lock them down. That's really all I have for this build, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Alright, so you're probably asking, what are some of the tricks and tactics that you can do with this? So like I said, there was 2 leaps in this. One makes your clone jump forward, and the other makes you jump forward. This can throw a whole lot of mind tricks, especially when you're invisible. Make sure to use that fact that when you go invisible and blind, to use it as a jumping tactic. While you're invisible, it's way hard to defer. Where exactly are you? And how are you going to affect your leaps? You can be all like, doosh, and then, bam, hit them, and come out of nowhere and start your assault. If you want to be a little bit more crafty, you can do something like this. Toss your lead portal. Invisibility, right there. Even better, use your decoy to go invisible. Then use your jump, place your other portal, and then lay another guy and jump the other direction. Now you got all sorts of clones on the field and your 2 portals up. You can then jump back and forth, kiting between the portal on top of laying all your clones on the ground. How sweet is that? There's many variations to doing this between all of those that can just stomp your foes and just obliterate them with just a few clones. As you can see here, my dog's looking all over the place. This is exactly how it would be if he was my enemy. He'd be like, where the heck is he? I have no idea. I should keep sniffing the ground. Because he has no idea what's going on. That's the best part about a Mesmer. And on top of that, you're confusing the enemies, making them vulnerable, and all sorts of wonderful little tidbits of happiness. This whole Mesmer thing's got him confused. He's like, I have no idea where I'm going, Nuke. Oh, there you are. Then I'm like, Buh! And he doesn't even know. And that is exactly how your enemy's gonna feel once you teleport out or jump out or do whatever the heck you're doing. You have so many deceitful things that you play off of your skill. Alright you guys, I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, give that thumbs up. I do enjoy that. Go ahead and give it that favorite if you want to use this build later, or go ahead and share it to some friends. Leave a comment down below on what you didn't like about this build, or maybe just a little bit change to the build that you would like to see. Go ahead and leave that subscription if you do like my stuff, if you like the things that I put out. Go ahead and drop that subscription up and we can get all sorts of videos out for you. Finally, if you would like to follow me on Twitter, I have been talking more and more about Guild Wars 2 now that I have this Twitter going on, so go ahead and follow me down there. Links down at the bottom. Good stuff. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Peace out.